Alrighty, hello and welcome to Chem 100. We are now live. This is our first live stream of the fall semester. Something we'll be doing on the regs, and this is our first official lab period. I'm going to go over kind of the structure of both lecture and lab. This is officially the stream for the section. So this is Chem 100 section 60, which it meets Tuesdays. The other section, which is section 162, meets on Thursdays. How's it going? Up in the chat. So for the purpose of this week, does not matter which one you attend. We'll get into a little bit later the difference it'll make as far as the only difference it makes is assignments due dates are scheduled based on the lab section in which you're enrolled. However, you're totally welcome to pop into either whenever I'm live doing a Chem 100 stream. If you're in Chem 100, it doesn't matter which section you're in. You can totally hit me up with questions. I'm totally down to answer. So let's talk a little bit about the semester. So actually, before we get going there, so this is the Chem 100 section 60 stream. I'm basically going to be doing an identical stream on Thursday. If you are in Thursday's section and listening with us, you're totally more than welcome to, but also know that it's going to be the same material over there. But I've got to do both, just because if people enrolled in the Thursday section because their Tuesday evening was busy, I don't want to cheat them out of the information. All right, so I'm going to be going through the syllabus. I'm not going to be like reading it extensively. It's there for you to consume. But I am going to be highlighting some of the important features and structures of the class. So this is Chem 100. It is an introductory chemistry course. The official prereqs at Southwestern College are Math 45 or 48. And basically, the prerequisite at the end of the day boils down to algebra. All right, algebra is what the heart of the prerequisite is. Those math classes. Now, so one of the things that I found as a chemistry instructor, I've been doing this now for 7 years, is that if you are uncomfortable with algebra, if you're uncomfortable with the prerequisite mathematically, this course will be much harder for you. I've found over the course of my teaching career that the students who have a weaker foundation or who are rustier in math will struggle in the class more because you've got kind of the double whammy of, in addition to having to learn chemistry, you're also having to learn algebra alongside of it. So it's kind of two tall orders. If me writing this word algebra on the whiteboard strikes a pang of terror or doubt in you, then that's an indication that you really, if you want to remain in the course and do well in the course, you need to double down and shore up your mathematical foundation. Now, sorry, I'm looking for, here we go. So I'm looking for, the first exam in this class is actually live as we speak. So there is a pre-req exam. Oops. And this is the only exam in the class that won't take place during a scheduled period. So the pre-req exam is open for you to take any time. It closes. It closes on the 28th at 11:59 p.m. And the 28th is this Saturday. So this is basically here as an early warning system to you. If you are solid with algebra, if you've got a good foundation, this is not going to be a difficult exam. If you struggle, if you are kind of weaker algebraically, this is going to give you kind of an early indication of what you need to practice and where you need to practice. And either you'd have to make the decision to either drop the class and take it at a different time after shoring up your math skills, or you've got to start playing catch up fast if you're going to succeed in the class. Now, this exam, you can take it anytime. Yes, yeah, Abigail was asking, does the pre-req exam only cover math? Absolutely. Absolutely. This Chem 100 is an introductory chemistry class. So if you've had chemistry in the past, whether high school or at a different institution, that's awesome. That's going to help you. But my base assumption is that we all are starting chemistry. I'm teaching this class as if this is your first chemistry class. Totally, Abigail, you're so welcome. So anyway, so the prereq for getting into this class is you need to have some math skills, you need to have some algebra skills, but there is no kind of science prerequisite for taking this class. So this should be something that is on your radar. It's due on Saturday. Something that should be even more kind of in the forefront of your mind should be the syllabus quiz. Now, this is a no pressure situation. It is located at the end of the syllabus. Whoops. So you can find it at the end of the syllabus. Oops. If you read all the way through, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a Q&A. The syllabus quiz it's just questions and answers. In addition, each question puts in parentheses the section of the syllabus you can find that answer in, so it kind of highlights some important course policies. There's a portion of it that's just for fun. But you need to go to the end of the syllabus, answer those questions, and then submit it on Canvas. And this part is critical. So the, oh, that's lab safety. There's the syllabus quiz. So the syllabus quiz is due let me see. Soon, I believe. Yeah, it's due in a couple days. So it's due Thursday at 11:59 p.m. And failure to submit this assignment on time. So submitting this late is the same as not submitting it. will get you dropped. There are I have 2 full wait lists for both sections, and this is first day of class. If we were meeting all in person, um, I'd take attendance, and whoever's not there, I drop, and then I add waitlisted students who are there. There's no way to really, excuse me, there's no way to really do that in this digital format. I mean, I could take attendance, but it's just not my style. But what I do is I have emailed out the wait list a copy of the syllabus and asked them to submit the syllabus quiz, and I've already gotten the majority of students on the wait list have already sent it back to me. So I know that they're engaged and wanting to get into the class. What you need to do if you're enrolled is prove to me that you are equally engaged. So go to the syllabus, answer the questions, submit it as a PDF to Canvas, and you stay in the class. If you do not, or again, if you're late, then I will drop you from the class and add a waitlisted student who has already completed it and is waiting to get in the class. So if you want to remain in this class, you must fill out the syllabus quiz on time. Again, it's due at 11:59 p.m. August 26th, which is this Thursday. All right, let's talk about lecture. All right. So this semester lecture is asynchronous. Oh, let's see. We got a question about the syllabus quiz. Oh yeah, Kaylee, that is a great question. So Kaylee's question was, does the syllabus quiz need to be printed out, handwritten, and then scanned back as a PDF, or can you save it, mark it up on the computer, and submit it as a PDF? Any preference? None whatsoever. Whatever is easiest for you. You can totally mark it up digitally and submit it that way. If you're a person who likes writing things out by hand, you can totally do that. The only thing is, if you're going to do it by hand, you can't take pictures of it. You got to use a scanner app. Like Adobe Scan is a free scanner app that can use your phone to take high quality, high resolution scans. So if you're going to turn physical media into a digital submission, just be sure that you're using, again, a free scanner app like Adobe Scan or your scanner app of choice. But yeah, I've got no preference. If you'd rather work digital, I'd rather do digital. As you can see, whoa, there it is. Huge fan of the digital pen, or even a mouse will get the job done in some circumstances. So totally. Okay, so let's talk about lecture. Lecture this semester is going to be asynchronous. So we have scheduled lectures and lab times, and we will be using those scheduled lecture times for exams. I'll talk about that a little more in the future. But lecture itself has all been pre-recorded. All right, it was recorded last semester, so all of these lectures that you'll be watching were recorded during the spring of 2021. And so the one thing that I want to kind of highlight, because they were recorded, all the content that I'm going to be lecturing on applies. But anything meant, because it was last semester, any mention of assignments, due dates, etc. Don't apply because it was a different semester, different things were going on. I've changed a couple things this semester. There were some catastrophes last semester that where I had to alter the class. So obviously all those things that relate to specifically last spring don't apply. So if you're like, I listened to the lecture and he said it was due this, something was due this Thursday, but or whatever, and then you that doesn't apply. Okay. Some of the things have been some of the changes I've made to the class this semester are for the better. Some of them are for the worse. No, I haven't made any consciously any changes for the worse. But like for example, last semester I had to change some things around because I ended up getting COVID, and so that kind of threw things off the rails. Last semester, another example is I did oral exams, which I'm not doing this semester. I feel like it stressed students out more than anything, so I decided to try a semester without one-on-one oral exams on Zoom. We're not doing those. So again, if you hear me talk about in lecture oral exams coming up, and you're like, "What oral exam?" There's none this semester, so don't worry about it. But that's one thing to keep in mind. They were recorded last semester. Probably talked enough about that. So here's the deal. You can watch anytime. All right, they are available on my YouTube channel, the channel that you're looking at now. There's a channel playlist called Chem 100 Lecture. There's a link on Canvas, and you can watch at your convenience anytime that works for you. A rough schedule, you can follow the schedule in the syllabus. So follow the watch schedule in the syllabus. And really the important thing here is it's more or less going to be 2 lectures per week. You don't have to, in the syllabus it says, your Tuesday lecture, your Thursday lecture. You don't have to do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You just have to get through 2 a week to stay on pace most of the time. There will be some weeks where there's only 1 lecture in the schedule, but again, you can find that in the syllabus to make sure you're staying on pace. Okay, great question, Abigail. No, dude, don't apologize for asking questions. Yeah, and so Abigail's question was, is homework done in spare time, and it won't be graded, and that is 100% correct. Homework is for practice. Homework is for preparing you for the exams. So it's totally not graded. One thing that I found there with this course, the way it's structured at Southwestern College, I find that the lab there are a lot of assignments related to the lab, and the lab generates a lot of kind of work that you have to turn in. And so adding homework to that situation that you had to turn in and that was graded, I think would be burdensome. I think it'd be a little overkill. As you'll find, the lab actually does take quite a bit of work to complete. And so homework in this class is for practice. It's to prepare you to take the exams. All right, so lecture you can watch at your leisure. You can find all of them on YouTube. There's a link, I believe, in under course resources, the course resources module in Canvas, where you can go to the playlist. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is it keeps track of where you watch. So you go to the playlist, find the last video you viewed, start the next one. And as long as you're hitting 2 a week, you're going to stay on pace and you won't fall behind. The danger is, is if you slip and you don't keep up with 2 a week, you're going to fall behind. And chemistry is a hard class to excuse me, to cram. So so I definitely recommend staying on pace there. Let's see. So that's lecture. Um, I only measure it. I don't take attendance. I just take attendance through the assignments. If you're turning assignments in on time, you're that's how I measure attendance. Couple things. So one with class behavior. This is one that I feel like we've all we all are in the process of collectively navigating this. Um, Class behavior is easy um, in face-to-face instruction because we're all in a room. We can look at each other's faces. We've got that kind of person-to-person interaction thing going on, and then we were all taken, and our classes were thrown up on the internet, and we're all different people online. You know, it's the internet often is a place to be snarky. It's a place to be sarcastic. It can be a place to be mean. And if there's one thing that I've seen, it's much easier to be mean to someone online than it is to be mean to their face. And so just keep this in mind when you're interacting with your fellow classmates or even with me. The only thing really with class behavior is as you're interacting, just be kind. If you're kind, if you're trying to be kind, you're not going to come off as being a jerk. So that's just the thing to keep in mind. As we all, especially when we get towards the end of the semester and the pressure's on and we're stressed about grades and I'm stressed about grading, and if we all just strive to be good to each other, it's going to be okay. Okay, let's see. Quick question. If for some reason we can't make it to lab class, will the video be posted on the YouTube channel as well? Yes. Great question. Yes, all yeah, totally. So all streams will be available for viewing after they conclude. Totally. Okay, another question. Can we work ahead? Meaning if a test lab is due on a certain date, we can turn it in early. Can we turn it in early? Okay, great question. And the answer is for some things, yes. For other things, no. So for some assignments, yes. For others, no. So, for example, I'll actually have more information on this when we get to kind of talking about the different kinds of assignments. But so there are some assignments that are like open, like for example the lab pre-labs. You're good to work on those, start those whenever. Well, actually, let's just transition there. Actually, I think that's going to be. Let's talk about the lab. The lab side of the class. We talked about lecture. Lab is the logical next step, and we'll talk about. We'll start talking about assignments. All right. So there are 3 types of lab assignments that you will find in this class. There are pre-labs, in-lab, and post-lab assignments. Um, each of them is worth 3 points each. So all told, each lab is worth 9 points. All right. Now, when these things are due varies. The pre-labs are due before lab starts, which is always going to be 6:45. The in-lab experiments open at 6:45 and they close when lab ends, which is 9:55. So and Fernanda, this kind of gets to your when I was like, well, some yes, some no. You can start the pre-labs whenever you want. But you can only work the in-lab assignment only opens once lab starts, and when lab closes, when lab ends, it closes, so it goes away. So you can only work on the in-lab during during the lab period. And then the post-lab is due before 6:45 next week. So your post-lab, for example, lab activity 1, post-lab 1 is due at the same time as pre-lab 2. They're both due before the next lab starts. So that is how kind of the lab works. There's pre-lab work that's due before lab starts. There's the in-lab work that you can only do during lab, and then post-lab is due before the start of the your next next lab period. Sorry. There we go. So that's how the lab assignments are structured. Something you should note, and this is in the syllabus. Okay, so let's see. Yes, yeah, exactly, Abigail. Oops. There we go. Exactly. And in my experience, which I've been teaching at Southwestern College for, well, this is my second semester here, the in-lab assignments typically don't take the full lab period. There's a couple that ran a little long, but they don't typically take a full 3 hours to do. So especially if you've come prepared, if you understand the pre-lab, you're not gonna be going till 10 every night. One thing that I should mention is if you miss the pre-lab, so if you turn in the pre-lab late, then you get a 0. And if you miss the pre-lab, your in-lab assignment score will also be 0. Because the whole point of the pre-lab is to prepare you to do the lab. This is not my own policy. This is a department-wide thing, and it's meant to kind of, for those of you who've never had an in-person lab course before, if you're not prepared for the lab, you're not allowed to step foot in the lab because you're a hazard, you're a danger issue, you don't know the safety protocols. Granted, no one's in danger of you not doing the pre-lab when we're all working digitally. But I believe the reason why the department adopted this policy was so that when we do return to face-to-face instruction, you're familiar with the expectations that are very normal, very kind of standard for in-person lab settings. So that's something you should be aware ahead of time. If you are do not turn the pre-lab in on time, so even if it's just a few minutes late, the score's got to be 0 for both the pre-lab and the in-lab. So I would definitely recommend doing this early. Don't start it at 6:30. Some of them are short, not all of them are short. So knock this out a day before, maybe even a couple days before, because if you have trouble with it, you might need to get help on it, etc. So you should just be aware of that. Missing the pre-lab will also knock out your in-lab score as well. Gotcha. Great question. Where will we find our lab assignments? So that is a great. So where do we find these lab assignments? Every single lab activity has its own module in Canvas. So if you go to our Canvas page, navigate to modules in the sidebar, and you scroll, there's like course resources and stuff up at the top. But if you scroll down, you'll see lab activity 1, lab activity 2, and under each one of those modules, there will be background reading. There will be the pre-lab, the in-lab, the post-lab instructions for all of that. Though you may not see the in-lab one if it hasn't, opened yet. So you'll see it there when it opens, which is at 6:45 during the lab period. And as of right now, I don't have the entire Canvas site built, but I have the first month's worth of lab activities programmed in and ready to go. So if you're like, whoa, there's only like 3 of these, or 2 of them, there's more to come. There will be enough for the whole semester, but I only have that much available at the moment. So that's kind of the structure of lab assignments. I want to talk a little bit about the lab class. So the tools, kind of the platforms that I will be using to teach our lab are, I guess I should say, the one I'm using now, YouTube, and Discord. I see a lot of you are already up and on our Discord. I actually have, almost the whole class is added, which is super cool. And so I use both of these as I teach our live lab sections. Now, the function of YouTube, which we're using right now, is YouTube is kind of like if we were in person in classroom, YouTube serves the role of the whiteboard. All right, this is where I write stuff. This is where this is where I field questions. If you're asking me stuff, often a picture's worth 1,000 words. So being able to like write out algebraic steps or draw structures of the molecule, worth its weight in gold. So that is how I use YouTube. Discord is kind of like if this were in person. Again, it's the analogy is Discord is kind of like the actual lab space. This is the digital room, so to speak. Discord is the place where you are, if we're in person, you walk into lab, you find your lab partners, you sit down, you start working on the experiment together, you bat back questions back and forth, you're hanging out, you're talking. And that is kind of how I've used Discord in the past, how I continue to use Discord, and so it's the place where we're hanging out, the place where we're all kind of interacting, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the structure of Discord because it applies to both lecture and lab. Um, so for those of you who've never used it before, um, Discord is, it was developed as a gaming platform, not to play games, but to communicate with people while you do. And there's two basic modes. There's text channels where you can communicate by typing, right? Message threads, and there are voice channels where you can actually talk and hang out. And the way I've kind of structured it is I've created two types of channels, and so the whole thing is Harry Potter themed. And so in Harry Potter, right, you send messages by owls. So our text channels I call owls, and our voice channels I call flue powder, which for those of you who have read the books or seen the movies, the flue powder was the substance that you could throw into the fireplace and then make your face appear in someone else's fireplace, like That's So Sirius Black talks to Harry. So that's kind of, if you're like, what's this by owl, by flue powder? Owls are the text channels. Flue powder are your voice channels. And you'll notice in the side, under commons, it says potions class by owls. So potions is lab. And so you can drop into the text channel. For example, let's say you roll in, you start working on lab activity 1. You can drop into the text channel for lab activity 1 and see, okay, what are people talking about? It's possible that people have already asked the question that you're stuck on, and you might be able to get unstuck. If you're the type of person who doesn't like text but prefers voice, you can drop into the flue powder channel, right, for lab activity 1. Every single lab activity has its own text channel and voice channel dedicated, so you can find the humans who are working specifically on the thing that you're working on as they're live on Discord. Same with lecture. I created owl and flue powder channels, text and voice, for every chapter of the textbook. So if you are jamming on chapter 5 and you're like, oh, this problem has me stuck, you can pop in because maybe people have talked about that problem already, or you can pop into the voice channel and be like, yo, who else is working on the chapter 5 stuff? You can coordinate, study groups. There's the General House Commons. I also, by the way, well, actually, I'll get to that in a moment. Excuse me. Another thing that's just for fun. It's Harry Potter themes, and so there, I believe I've made it available on Canvas. There's something called a Discord quiz. It's a free 4 points. There's no wrong answers for it. But if you take that quiz, it basically, I ask 2 questions. One, what is your name on Discord? Because, for example, I can look at these names and, well, I'll just use mine for example. I'm Crozer Black. If I were a student, I would have no idea that Crozer Black is Joshua Tolopilo. So I just want to know what your name appears as on Discord, so I can know who you are. So that's to help me learn. And then the second question I ask is, what is your Harry Potter house of preference between, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Gryffindor? Because when you answer those, when you do the quiz, I will assign you a role to your Hogwarts house of choice, and it will do a few things. It'll change your color on Discord, so you'll be, purplish blue for Ravenclaw, yellow for Hufflepuff, green for Slytherin, red for Gryffindor. It'll group you if you've used Discord before. It'll group you. Right now you can see that if you're on Discord, you can see I'm Potions Master. It'll put you in the group of live people in your house, so you'll know how many Hufflepuffs are there. And in addition, so you can see under Commons, which there's the Great Hall, which is a voice channel. There is a locked common room and bulletin board for every house. And you can only have permission to enter that common room, voice channel, or text channel if you belong to that house. So, and again, that's just for fun. But you also gain exclusive access to your house of choice, both on a voice channel and a text channel. So again, once you fill out that Discord quiz, I'll be able to go through and assign you all the roles, the houses that you like, and it'll just help, you know, make the theme more fun. Let's see. Oh, the other thing with Discord that I wanted to mention is I 100% welcome and would like any and all feedback. This is an evolving kind of platform for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed using it. I think it's a great way to facilitate teaching, to facilitate connectivity between you as a class, between myself. But it's not this like rigid set in stone thing. So if there are features in the server that you would like to have added that you think would be useful, totally let me know. I'm 100% down to kind of build and evolve this in any direction, really. So give me feedback. Let me know how it's working for you, if it's working for you, what isn't. I want to hear. So it's not some rigid sort of thing. Okay. That is lab. Oh, okay. Let's talk about communication. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry, we've got a question. Are we having lab only on Tuesdays? I got a bit confused on the civil side. Oh, Lauren, no worries at all. Okay, so and actually, I'll write this up. So we have one lecture section with two independent lab sections. Chem 100 only has a lab that meets once a week. So what Southwestern College does is it takes two different lab sections, but makes all those students go to the same lecture. So if you are enrolled, and the Canvas page will say, in Chem 100-60, lab is Tuesdays. If you are enrolled, and again, your Canvas will tell you which one you're in Chem 100-62, lab is on Thursdays. All right. Now, here's the only difference it makes. I will be here 6:45 to 9:55 on Tuesdays, 6:45 to 9:55 on Thursdays as well. I'll be here both times, and I'm teaching 9 different classes at 3 different colleges this semester. But during those times, I am exclusively here to support and talk to Chem 100 students for Southwestern. So this is your time. If you're enrolled in either section, you can ask me questions on Tuesday or Thursday. Does not matter to me. I'm totally down to talk you through stuff, to help you with stuff. You don't have, it's not like you can only go to your section. You can go to any time I'm live for Southwestern College. The only difference it makes is the due dates for your assignments. So if you are in Chem 100 section 60, all of your lab stuff and due dates are going to be on Tuesdays. If you are in Chem 100 section 62, all of your lab assignments will be due on Thursdays. Everything else for the class is the same other than that. When those in-lab assignments come in, when the pre-lab, in-lab, and post-lab stuff are due. Chem 160 is Tuesday. Chem 162 is Thursday. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't. All right, let's talk about. Okay, awesome. Let's talk about communication. So I mentioned like 2 seconds ago that I'm teaching a lot of classes. I have 9 different classes at 3 different colleges, and I'm adminning. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I might add a 5th. I'm adminning at least 4 different Discord servers. As a result, there are a lot of Discord notifications that I don't see, that I miss. So if you need to communicate me. If you need to communicate with me, the one surefire, or there's 2 surefire guaranteed ways that I will see and respond to your inquiry. Email, or if you Canvas, DM. If you do either of these, you are guaranteed a response. How fast I'm able to respond depends upon the volume of messages that I'm answering and responding to at that time. Typically, you see a response time between 24 and 48 hours. I always try to get my responses out there as fast as I possibly can. It's not always possible because there's sometimes it's finals week and everybody from all the schools are all emailing me, and I'm not able to like bang them out as fast as I would like. You can know you're always getting my quickest response. Typical response time within 24 to 48 hours. But if you contact me through Canvas or email, you will get a response. With Discord, Discord is more about community interaction. And kind of creating and fostering a kind of digital space where we can come together and you can get to know each other as a class, and I can obviously interact with you as the instructor. Discord is something that I do check, and there will definitely be times where you like pop an answer in, and I'm on my phone, and I'm able to respond like right then and there. But even if you at me on Discord, I won't necessarily see it, or be able to get to you, just because there's a lot of things flying in and out with Discord. So if you need to get in contact with me, these are the ways to do it: email and Canvas. If you send me something on Discord, I might see it, I might not see it. Again, it's more about community building. So I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page up front, so you're not going, but I messaged you on Discord and you never got back to me. I may not have ever seen it. But if you email me or Canvas DM me, I will see it and you will get a response. All right. So let's see. We talked about. Okay, let's talk about lecture assignments. Actually, more specifically, let's talk about exams. All right. Now, exams in this class are all scheduled during the scheduled lecture periods. All right. So in on our course website. Here, hang on. I'm just gonna pull it up rather than shooting from the hip. Oh, there we go. I just want to make sure I get these times right. So, lecture exams exams 1, 2, and 3 open at 5:10 p.m., which is our scheduled lecture time, and they close at 6:35. All right. That is not necessarily the time you'll have to take the exams. That's when the exam opens. That's when the exam closes. The actual time varies. Exam 1, I think, is a little shorter. 2 is longer. 3 is in between. But this is when they open and close, which is during our scheduled lecture times. You can look up these specific dates for these exams on Canvas, but that is something that you should be aware of. With lecture, you can watch the videos at any time. For these exams, they'll only be offered on their exam date between this open and closing time. So that is the only time they will be available to take. Our final exam time was set by the department, not the department, the college actually. The final is on December 9th. And it opens at 3:25 and it closes at 5:25. And again, I didn't set that date. That is according to the final exam schedule set by Southwestern College. So anyways, that is one thing that you'll have to get used to, because our typical week will be you watch lecture at your own pace, roll in during your lab section, 6:45. I'm here to hang out. We work through stuff. We talk about it. But when you have exams, you will have to be at your computer at 5:10 in order to take them. So that's something to be aware of. All right, let's see. Where are we? Pre-Req exams, final exams. The syllabus has what the percentage is of all the assignments, both lecture and lab. They all contribute to the same grade. And this class is not curved. Grades are a straight scale. So an A is if you have 90 to 100%. A B is 80 to 89%. A C is 70 to 79%. A D is 60 to 69%. A, B, C, D. I'm always like, and an E. Wait, no. An F is less, or is 0 to 59%. So Giovanni has a question. Would we be able to take the exams earlier if we aren't able to take them during the given time? And the answer is unfortunately no. And the reason why the answer is no is because this class was listed as a synchronous class, which means that you must have the time available uh, set aside to be live and online in the same way that if this class were meeting in person, you'd have to have that time available to show up to the lecture section and the lab section. So you have to be available during that time. If that is a conflict, then you should probably drop the class and take it a different semester or a different section of the class that meets at a different time. But because it's listed as synchronous, you must be available during these scheduled times. Okay. Another thing that we should just go over is late and dropped assignments. Late assignments receive scores of 0, and no assignments in this class are dropped. So everything counts, just like real life. Yeah. It's a little harsh, but it's also part of taking a college science class. So if it's late, score is 0. There are no dropped assignments. Everything sticks. Okay. Academic dishonesty obviously is not tolerated. And you've got to do your own work. You've got to report it as your own work. That being said, I do. So copying someone else's work verbatim is academic dishonesty, but collaboration is encouraged and is a critical part of this class. So you should be working together. You should be figuring things out together, solving each other's problems, solving problems with each other. But it's just copying someone else's work is where that gets problematic. All right, let's see. All right, a couple last things, and then we'll be done. This is actually, we've been going an hour. Yeah, because it started at 6:45. All right, so if you have a DSS accommodation, email me your accommodation letter ASAP, as soon as possible, and I will get your accommodation programmed into all of the timed assignments. If you qualify for DSS and you have time accommodations, I'm 100% here to support you and make sure you get all those on them. The reason why I say ASAP is because the Pre-Req exam is live. So if you want your accommodation on the Pre-Req exam, you got to let me know. I've had a couple students actually reach out. I programmed it in, no problem, but you do have to get that to me quick. If you send me an email at 11 o'clock on Saturday and this thing closes at 11:59, I'm probably asleep already anyway, so I won't be able to help you. So do that soon if you haven't already. Let's see what's left. I'm looking at the syllabus here. Okay, the last thing um, that I want to touch on is okay. So this is our lab period, right? I've been kind of talking about course policies during the lab. Now, this is when normally we would all be working on. You'd be working, and I'd be answering any questions that you have on the in lab assignment. Now, the lab assignment for week one, our week one lab assignment is on lab safety. And again, this might seem silly that we're doing a thing on lab safety. You're like, shouldn't it be like ergonomics and computer safety? Because I'm going to be sitting at this computer terminal taking my class digitally this semester. The reason why lab safety is still a part of this course is even though none of us are setting foot in a lab this semester, part of the learning goals for this class is that you would understand the unique hazards and challenges and threats to safety that are present in a regular lab setting so that the day that you do step foot inside a lab, you'd be familiar with standard practices, standard safety protocols, and you'd understand how kind of to interact with that world. So it's still important to learn, not for this semester, but for a passing grade in this class, you should understand the do's and don'ts of the lab setting. So this week's lab assignment is a series of lab safety quizzes. You can find it under the lab safety module. So this is a Canvas module. And normally, the normal activity would have an in-lab thing that's due at the end, which is 9:55 of the lab period. But this is the first week, and I chewed up our first hour giving you a course intro. So this is not due tonight. The lab safety quizzes, I think there's 10 of them. They're short. They're due this Saturday. So you don't have to go into like overdrive mode of like, oh, I've got to finish all these things tonight. You can totally work on them. I'm here to answer any questions if you run into any. But you can work on these at your leisure. They're all due this Saturday. So, there's one last thing I want to say. I keep saying there's one last thing, but this is the last thing that I have prepared. So we've got the lab safety stuff. So most what I would say is most of the lab activities, most of the in-lab exercises. Oh, let's see here. For those of us on the wait list, do you have any decision, time frame? Do you have access to the syllabus? All right. Okay, so you're sending a great question. So I sent out an email to every student on the wait list with a copy of the syllabus so they could send in the syllabus quiz. If you missed it, maybe check your spam folder. If it's not there, reach out to me on email, which my email is jtolopilo at swccd.edu. If it's not in your spam folder, shoot me an email and I will send it to you so you can fill out the syllabus quiz and send it to me. So if you're on the wait list, you're in a little bit of limbo right now because I don't know how many spots we'll have available. Oh, you have it. Okay, good. No worries. Some people drop. Well, I will drop everybody who doesn't turn in the syllabus quiz on time, which that's due on Thursday. So that's one thing. Some people drop after the prereq exam. Some people take it. It's too hard for them, or they decide to delay and take this class another semester. So after the prereq exam closes, which is this Saturday, some people usually drop. So the number of students I can add from the wait list is determined by the number of students who either don't turn the syllabus quiz in on time, I drop them, or students who choose to drop due to the difficulty of the pre-req exam. So that determines how many people I can let in. So the best thing you can do is send me the syllabus quiz. Because if someone's on the wait list but doesn't send me the syllabus quiz, I don't give them an ad code. I only give ad codes to students who I know are responsive and are trying to get into the course. So now, if your question is, what if you're on the wait list and you like late add and you're worried, like I've missed assignments, things are, I don't want to lose those points. What happens if I'm added after assignments have closed? For my late add students, I reopen the assignments for you, so you have the opportunity to take the prereq exam, to take the lab safety quiz stuff, to do all these. I give you extensions on those, so you have the same amount of time to work on them as people who are enrolled from day one. So if you're a late add, don't stress about missing assignments. I'll give you plenty of time to complete them. And you can go to YouTube, to the Chem 100 lecture playlist, and start watching the lecture, so you don't have to fall behind with the lecture material, because all that is available to you on YouTube. All right, the last thing that I want to say about our lab periods is most of the in-lab activities do not take the full lab period. As a result, but my promise to you is I am going to be live the entire time. I'm going to be live on YouTube from 6:45 to 9:55 every Tuesday and Thursday. And I would encourage you to use that time. Obviously, you're going to roll into your lab section, get that in-lab exercise done, turn it in, you're good to go. But what do you do with the dead time? I'm going to be here. Use that time as office hours. I am free tutoring. I am the best tutoring money can buy, and for you, I cost nothing. That's just so I've been a professor within the California community colleges for the past 7 years. But honestly, I've been tutoring chemistry since high school. It is my jam. I love talking about it. It's my favorite thing, and I'm here to help you. So seek me out. Use that dead time. I know it's late. You probably will want to bounce, and that's also totally fine. But I just want to encourage you to use me as a resource to help you through those parts of the class that you're struggling with. And what's going to help you identify where you're struggling in the class is, doing the homework problems, doing the practice stuff, even the stuff that has no grade attached to it. If you're doing them and you're working them, you'll find the ones that you're struggling with, bring them to me, we'll get through it together, and you'll be stronger and better prepared for the exam. All right, so that is it, and I'm totally down to hit me with any questions you have. I'll continue to be here online again if you have any questions till the end of the lab period. But that's all the prepared information I have. So our course intro is officially done. You're free to bounce. You're free to start working on the lab safety stuff if you like to. But anyways, it's going to be a great semester. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to party. So cheers, dudes. It's my hint water. not hashtag not sponsored. All right. So yeah, welcome to Chem 100. Oh dang, I see the Discord poll has been aggressively taken. I'm gonna start assigning roles on Discord. Oh, great question. Great question. Um, honestly, whichever one you prefer. Whether so sorry. The question is, do I recommend e-textbook or physical textbook? Um, and I'd say just whichever. I'd say whichever helps you learn the best. I've had students who like just don't like a digital text. They really learn better having like a physical book to open up and turn pages for. I've had other students who love having an e-text because they have it on their iPad, so they can take it everywhere with them and always have it available. So whichever facilitates your learning process best, that's the one I would roll with. Oh, great question. Yeah, Daniela, that is an excellent question. You can totally ask questions if you're not live or you're not able to make it. Um, and so what I would recommend is um, so email um, email your subject as Chem 100 office hours. And then attach a picture of the original problem. And even if you're not able to attend live, um, which you know, either Tuesday or Thursday, email subject Chem 100 office hours, include attach a picture of the original problem, and I will totally work the problem um, during whichever um, lab period comes up, and that way, even if you're not able to attend live, you can still go back and watch the video and see the answer to your question worked out. So totally, or let's say you were doing a homework problem. Let's say you're in Tuesday's lab, doing a homework problem on Wednesday you can't figure out. Email me Chem 100 office hours. Send a picture of that problem. Then on Thursday, when I'm streaming, when it hits a lull, like it is right now, I'll totally work the problem, and then you can tune back in and watch it later. And I include a timestamp in all the videos, so you'll be able to navigate to the portion of the stream where I answer your question. Ah, yeah. So Yeah, so ahead of each exam, I will be writing and posting to Canvas um, kind of a guide for studying it, where I outline the number of problems, the time you'll have, the concepts present, and not just what concepts are present, but the percentage of points associated with each concept. So, for example, um, you'll be able to look at the guide that I post and go like, oh, that topic is only worth 8% of the test, but this topic is worth 28% of the test. So you'll be able to see like, oh, I should not allocate a ton of my resources to studying this concept, but I should spend at least a third of my time looking at this one, for example. So yeah, I will post an outline ahead of time, so you know what to focus on, what to study for the test. Totally.